Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom, and we're going to be looking at Marvel Legends, the Sentinel series today. So we'll start off with Angel. Now this series actually obviously built the Build-A-Figure Sentinel, which I think is the best Build-A-Figure that they've done personally. I actually got this series and opened it up and actually made the Sentinel.
Because you're a geek.
Which is yes and true, which is pretty damn awesome, I have to say. So let's have a look at these figures. So obviously here we've got Angel. Two versions of him it's the same mould but just a different colour variant, so it's not one of the more exciting variants. So there he is in his blue costume, and there he is in his sort of reddish costume.
Yeah, I like the detailing on it, and I quite like the that they've tried to shade the blue, but it looks kind of like his suit's been put in the wash, kind of like what happened to my Punisher costume. It went in the wash with some other stuff, and the white bits have gone a bit blue.
Yeah. I'll talk about the wings briefly then, because as I say, I open these ones up, so the wings actually sort of clip on, but the problem is here is it's actually quite a heavy figure, and the wings themselves are quite heavy, so it's a difficult figure to really kind of, if you're going to open them up, to pose, because the wings are, they're sort of solid plastic and they're pretty damn heavy, so it makes him.
Has to go on the.
So yeah, you have to put them on the stands, and they're not particularly secure either because they're so heavy. If you were to kind of move them around with any sort of force, they would just fall off. So.
Do you mean play with?
Yeah, basically.
So if you're getting them to kick someone's ass or something like that, then it's just going to fall over. I prefer the colouring on the red variant wings, actually, like kind of more dirty kind of yellowy colour. Yeah, it's quite nice touch.
Sweet.
Cool. This was my favourite figure for a long time, and that's just because I like Mega Red.
Yeah.
And Russian stuff. It's cool.
I'm still hoping that we'll see Omega Red in the movies at one time. I think he'd be quite good. Yeah. Quite a good villain, to be honest.
Well, the thing is, I mean, they haven't really done much with Colossus, have they? They found like that massive 14-year-old for the second X-Men film, or whatever he was. He was quite a young guy. And then they never really utilised him.
Yeah, the problem is that they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that, because he's not a star, they will never get any screen time. Yeah. Anyway, so this one comes to the midsection of the Sentinel. I actually thought the Sentinel was quite well articulated, actually, and it had trouble standing up sometimes. I used to find it kind of, his legs didn't want to go particularly straight if you were to make it. So they kind of almost wanted to sort of do the splits, but it was a good figure, and obviously quite heavy.
Wanted to bust out some moves on the dance floor.
So Mystique.
Kind of okay figure, I suppose. I think they always seem to sort of struggle with the articulated joints and the skinnier figures.
Do you know? Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say the female figures, and this doesn't mean it sounds sexist, but I don't think the female figures never seem to be as good. And you're right, it's because they're generally smaller, and then it doesn't kind of they look just disjointed. And
they should almost made them for these figures like more moulded, lesser joints, maybe just a hip articulation. Rather than going for like, they do go on about 27 points, superposable. I mean, I don't know what you would want to be paid a Mystique for anyway, so yeah, some sort of like toy perv.
This one's my favourite figure of the series, this particular series, Black Panther.
Yeah, he looks cool.
Yeah.
He's got his bling on. He looks like he's about to go out night clubbing. What's that?
His claws are a little bit possibly too long, I have to say, if you can kind of see there. Yeah, he's got Freddy Krueger going on. But I like the figure, I like the texture of the sort of costume.
Yeah. Looks cool.
Pretty decent. I was never a huge fan of the cape, but that's removable, so.
It's a bit like Batman.
It is.
I'm Black Panther, man.
So this series is near enough all X-Men apart from Black Panther and the Spider-Man, who we'll have a look at just a second. Other than that, they're all mutants.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spidey, here he is. So this is the based on the original first edition of comic. This particular model. So he's kind of got a bit of a retro look to him. He's got the kind of the webbing under his arms, which he sort of sometimes has in the sort of earlier comics and stuff like that. They've done surprisingly a few Spider-Man figures.
Yeah, well, obviously then you had the other. It's that era of just like the new era of Marvel films that came out, wasn't it? They're like, literally, we can't just do everything for the fanboys. We need to do something for the mainstream, just so that the kiddies go in the shop and buy it. It's a cool figure.
Mr.
Like
Sinister.
I like him as
Bit
well.
of a fan favourite in regards to the actual character. Bit of an odd character, I personally feel, but
Yeah, he's never as good as you actually, or as cool as he kind of looks, if that makes sense.
This is one figure where I don't think he would go on. You know, he could be put in a live action film.
You couldn't.
I think he'd look cheesy as hell. I personally feel.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like the idea behind him, but I don't think he works as a live action figure. Like a live action.
Frankenstein meets Dracula.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is, I mean, they destroy half of the characters from the comics when they put them in the movies anyway. So, I haven't seen the latest Wolverine film, but that looks quite interesting. Was it good? Did you see?
It wasn't bad.
Is it kind of like
You can check out my review for it. If you like.
Is it a semi-reboot of the character, wasn't it?
No, it's a continuation.
But isn't he a bit more badass though in this film?
Possibly a little bit. Yeah. Right, so finally we have Cyclops, who hasn't seen much love in the films, talking about the films. And here you have, obviously, again, it's gone with the, sort of the classic costume on the right there, which is the kind of the standard release. And the one on the left is a variant release, which is, I think, is meant to be when they're a point in time when they're kind of
X Factor.
X Factor. That's right. Yeah, I think that's meant to be then.
Yeah, that is. That's when Beast was had almost identical costume to that, but obviously without the visor, and he had like hairy human feet rather than like being the big blue beast, for what I remember correctly.
So that's the Sentinel series. Let us know what you think of this series and what's your favourite figure. Leave us a comment and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.